So Stan Burns is a good friend of mine, as well as, I would say, probably the best realtor I've ever met. He's professional. He's incredibly caffeinated. So I would say would mean, just total energy in everything he does. And he's very approachable. When I first started talking to Stan, we weren't actually really in any position to be buying a house at all. I couldn't afford one. And more importantly, I didn't have any credit in Canada because I just moved up here from the States. But Stan talked to me anyway. He spent a lot of time talking to me about the Victoria real estate market, what I should be looking for, what I should be looking out for, and introduced me to the mortgage broker that I eventually worked with to build Canadian credit and buy this really lovely house. And then when it came time to actually start looking around, I called Stan up one day and I said, look, I've got the money for a down payment, but if we're going to buy something, we have to do it in the next 2 weeks tops. Davie here was 7 months pregnant at the time, and I just changed jobs. And it got a little more hectic from there, actually. I tore my knee apart in the middle of the purchase process, and I ended up in a wheelchair, and Stan came over and helped work on the house, because we bought this beautiful place needing a little bit of TLC, which I figured no problem at the time, but, when I was in a wheelchair with a paintbrush, Stan was right there pitching in. And just during the process of actually the purchase itself, writing the offer, because Stan had us look at 16 places in 4 hours, because I really wanted to get covered. We wanted to see everything that was out there. He was like, okay, I can book all the appointments, and it was, the only slot of time I had, and we had appointments booked back to back to back to back to back, every 10 minutes for 4 hours. And the first place we saw was the one that we bought. It was the best thing we saw, and Stan knew that right out of the gate. But he's like, I'll show you everything there is, just so you know you're comfortable that what I'm recommending is the best thing you can get. And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, beautiful piece of property. And even when we got in to write the offer, there were 2 other competing offers, and which we hadn't really expected going in. And Stan, he slowed down for a minute. Only time I've ever seen him slow down. I said, let's think, this is an estate sale, and the lady who's the executor is over 80, got to be over 80. So what does she really want to see in the offer? She wants to see no hassle. So let's write it up, add an extra clause that just says, we'll take it as is, where it is. Leave anything, take anything, leave the cat. We did actually end up with the cat. And Stan went to bat for us again on that front. When they called us up after we won the offer, even though we weren't the highest bidder, just because of that clause that Stan threw in there on as is, where is, that was really what made the difference for them. When they called us up and said, hey, will you take the cat as well? I said, hey, sure, and Davie said, oh, we absolutely have to. It's good karma. It comes with the house. And Stan said, well, okay, but, let's make sure this swings in your favor, too. So he called him up, and he's like, well, my clients are willing to consider the cat, but what about vet bills, and has it been wormed recently, and what about all that cat food? And the day we moved in, I know I was feeling a little pinched because it's my first house purchase. I felt a little overextended. You got that kind of buyer's remorse thing for that 4-hour period. And Stan showed up to help us move in, brought us a couple of beautiful gifts, and a check for $700. He's like, well, I had to twist arm a bit, but this is for the vets and the cat food. So I thought that was amazing. That's going the extra mile, for sure. And I think Stan would do that for anyone. Yeah.
Above and beyond.
Yeah, just amazing guy. So I would say, even if you're selling a house, I've never dealt with Stan, obviously, selling a place, because I like the one I have, and I don't plan on leaving. But I imagine he would bring the same kind of frenetic energy that's just like, nothing is an obstacle. There's no obstacle. It doesn't matter that the person who wants to buy it has no money. I will loan them the money so they can buy your house. It's just amazing. Oh, flowers. Thank you. Stan Burns, A1.